Give yourselves a hand. Well, first I'd like to say it's a tremendous honor to be here. As Lisa discussed, we met each other on LinkedIn, and I was definitely impressed by her movement and her passion behind her movement and what she was trying to do. And when she asked would I be a guest speaker, I didn't hesitate. I said absolutely, because this is an opportunity to give out some of what I've been given. And as T.D. Jakes says, you can't receive new unless you let out old. So I'm here to let out old, which should be new for you. But let me tell you my purpose, because I became excited by listening to you talk about your purpose. I have a purpose here today. My purpose here today is to impact your lives like never before. My purpose here today is to give you a speech that resonates with greatness. See, so I know you may wonder, how can someone like me have that confidence and come here and say, I can literally change your life in the next 45 minutes? This is why. Because I prepared to do it. I prepared to be great. And I trust in my abilities and what I've accomplished. So let me tell you part of my preparation to be great. Because you can do it as well. Here's the formula to be great. And I packaged it up in a nice little package and put a nice bow on top, and you can open it very easily. This is what you have to do to be great. You have to be the very best you possible in every aspect of your life. And then you have to put yourself in the very best possible position in every area of your life. And I guarantee you, you will become great. Your greatness will resonate because your greatness is your greatness. It's not my greatness. It's not your greatness. It's not your greatness. We were all put here to walk our own lane. And see, the problem is that our lanes have gotten distorted, or we're trying to walk someone else's lane. Here we go. Here come the word. Here come the word. Because our vision is not straight. So here's that word, vision. I just got one request before I get started. Got one request of you. It's a small request. It's very easy to do. I'm going to impact your life like no one has ever done in this next 45 minutes to an hour. But I need you to be here. See, not just physically. You're physically here, but I need you here. I need you present mentally. I need you present mentally. I'm sorry. I know we're all human, but what's happening after this? Let's forego those thoughts. You know, what we just came from, let's put those thoughts aside. I need you present right here, right now, and I will assure you, I'll change your life. So who is Marc Baxter? Well, thanks for asking. Well, Marc Baxter is a Philadelphia native, and North Philadelphia actually. Very, very humble beginnings. And one thing I always desired was to have more, because I had so little. My first encounter with vision, and I didn't know it was vision at the time. I was 4 years old. Wide-eyed, bushy-tailed, you know, wishing and desiring to be in a different environment or have access to different things, but I was still happy and content. But my first experience with vision, my mother stood me up and said, come here, let me tell you something. And she said, don't you ever do that again. Because God created all men equal. And then the something just lit up in my mind when I heard that. And I said, really? And I just kept repeating it in my mind. And it was like, wow, I'm equal as everyone else. So not knowing at the time I was 4. But that was my first encounter with vision. So from that point on, I lived my life seeing myself through the lives of others. I seen someone with the house I wanted. I said, I can have that one day. I saw somebody with the look that I wanted. I said, I can look like that one day. I saw somebody doing the things I wanted to do, and I said, I can do that one day. All from a statement that my mother gave to me. So again, that was with me since the age of 4. So as I got older, went to some of the toughest schools in the city. You know, Still School Elementary, went there. Great experience. Went to Cook Middle School. That's still one of the worst schools in the city, where you can literally get punched in your face by anybody at any moment for doing nothing. That was the type of school and the type of experience I encountered. So it will make you become one or two ways. Both tough, But one, you'll be tough because you had the front toughness in order to survive. But one, you really became tough because you endured such tough circumstances. So again, went to middle school there. I didn't have a lot of family involvement in my life. It was like it was a group of individuals. It was a group of individuals. That's just it. Everybody was an individual. It wasn't us. It was you, and you. And I'm the youngest. So I'm like, my goodness, this is scrambled. You know, I want so much more. I want it to be so different, but this is what I had. So I had to play the cards that I was dealt. So I played them. And I played them well. So after leaving one of the worst middle schools in the city, I went to Bodine High School for International Affairs. That's a magnet school. So I came from one of the worst schools in the city and got accepted to a magnet school. The only problem is that part of my refuge that I created as a kid was football. That was something that I poured all my pain into, all of my desire into, all of my energy into, because it was a safe haven for me. It was an activity, it was a form in which I could let loose. I could be one and let all myself go and get rewarded for it. So, when I transferred to Bodine High School, they didn't have a football team. So again, what do I do? Where do I go? Do I give up football because at least I got out of that terrible middle school? So what do I do? So I went to Bodine, I stayed here for a year, and not my mom, not my dad, my little league coach came and transferred me in the 10th grade. And from there I went to Mastbaum High School, and let me tell you, played football, senior year, went undefeated, won a championship, got a scholarship to college. So you see the difference of the result, what could have happened had I stayed at middle school, what could have happened had I stayed in Bodine High School, but what did happen, because it wasn't my vision, but it was the vision of my little league coach, so I'm thankful for that. So here I am. This star of sorts, you know, scholarship to college. Nobody from my community been to college, let alone got a scholarship. So I'm doing something that hasn't been done before. But I'm still moseying along, and I went to Temple. Now, I could have went anywhere, but I chose Temple. You know, went to Temple on a football scholarship, excelled there. Got some Temple people in the crowd, that's a blessing. I excelled there, graduated with an undergrad in sport management, and kudos to Temple. They got the #1 sports management grad program in the country right now, so kudos to Temple. Went back there, got a master's in educational administration, and went back years later and got a minor in applied behavioral analysis. So here we go, here I am. And I'm in college, and I'm aspiring to go to the NFL, and I got it all on the line because I don't have anything to go back to. I didn't make it. I gave my all. I didn't make the NFL. So I have a decision to make. What do I do? Do I just complain? Do I sit? Do I put my tail between my legs? Do I feel sorry for myself? Or do I still have a desire to be great, but just take a different path? See, so I chose the latter. I chose the latter of the two. So I took a different path, and I got a job, and then actually at that job is where I got my master's degree, so I had tuition reimbursement and so forth and so on. And moved a lot, did a lot of things, tried a lot of things that didn't succeed, and then I found my place. I had a vision to do something else. I started a Empowerment Unlimited, a limited liability corporation in 2001, and that was to do behavioral therapy under. That was a corporation to govern my behavioral therapy work. In 2006, I started Baxter Estates. That's a real estate company, you know, purchasing real estate in the tri-state area, sell some, but I kept most of them. Did real well in that. And then in 2009, I started Baxter Vending. You get the theme here, right? Baxter. I started Baxter Vending in 2009, and you know, I distributed some of the most innovative vending machines across the tri-state area. My major competition was Airmark and Cisco, so I was doing well in that. And in 2011, I started the Marc Baxter Show. This was my pride and joy. And all of the other things I did real well, made a lot of money. Marc Baxter Show, I paid to do the show. But that was my pride and joy, and this is why. See, the Marc Baxter Show was my pride and joy because it was my first introduction to purpose.
Yeah.
See, when I was doing the Marc Baxter Show, it was different than just making money or doing what I had to do to follow the regime so that I could get this money or make this quota. See, doing the Marc Baxter Show was significant because it created purpose for me. Okay, so here I am, doing the Marc Baxter Show. doing Baxter Vending, running that company, running Baxter Estates, and still a behavioral therapist. So I'm doing all of that. But it still wasn't purposeful. My vision shift. My vision shift from what I thought would be purposeful, because this is what everybody else thought was good. I'm making the money, I got businesses going, I'm driving that, I'm buying that, I'm seeing it, liking it, and copying it. But what did it amount to? It amounted to nothing. So I said, God, I want to be great. I'm not just here to just do what people expect me to do. I said, listen, man, now this is no disrespect to anybody. I've had people close to me that's passed away. I'm sure you have also. See, and what I see is this. When someone passed away, in the week, people try to hold them dear in their heart. Oh, I'll never forget you. I'll always uphold your memory. In a month, you slip like once or twice. Oh, forgive me. Oh, and then you try to get onto it, real strong. I'll never forget you, this and that. In 6 months, it's hard to even remember how this person coexisted in society because they've been detached so long. And no disrespect to anybody, but that's not enough for me. I was born to be great, and so are you. So I'm not going to go any further with mentioning that word vision without explaining what vision is. See, vision, according to the Webster's Dictionary, is the ability to see, foresight. It also says it's the ability to have imagination. And also, it's the ability to see a picture in your mind. So when you think of vision, you think of some external, because it's sight, it's external. But notice 2 of those definitions were internal. Imagination is inside. The ability to have a picture in your mind is internal. So here we go. The game within the game. What is the game within the game? What are they talking about when they say have vision? The game within the game is this. Let's take football. Football is the game you see on Sundays, the game you see on Mondays, sometimes Thursdays. The game within the game is all week of practice. The game within the game is watching film and studying your opponent. The game within the game is working out relentless in the weight room so your physicality can be right to be successful on the football field. There's always a game within the game. So what's the game within the game of vision? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's discuss it. Well, what's the use of having vision if you're not seeing clearly? So part of the game within the game of vision is you must see clearly. Okay? Another part of the game within the game of vision is that your lenses must be clear. What are you looking through? Is it your eyes or is it someone else's? You can't see clearly if you're looking at the wrong thing. You got to be able to identify what you're looking at. You have to be looking from the right view. And finally, you got to accept what you see when you see it. Come on. See, this is the thing about vision, right? See, everybody think of vision. Oh, I see, but do you really see? Well, how do I correct my vision so that I can see and I can win the game within the game and I can be great and have great vision? Well, thanks for asking. Let me tell you how you do it. It's called problems, strengths, and weaknesses.
What?
See, the game within the game is this. The game within the game is you can't see straight if you're not straight. See, the game within the game is you have to become one with your problems, strengths, and weaknesses. Not reiterate or rehearse it or tell yourself, you look at your weaknesses all the time, but no, that's who you are. So let me explain to you what I mean by problems, strengths, and weaknesses. Problems, okay. These are those abrupt things that just happen that we have little or no control over. Flat tire. Oh, you see my keys? Lost your keys. Wake up, you're a little under the weather, get caught in the rain. See, those are problems. Those are abrupt things that happen in your life that you have little to no control over. Then you have strengths. Hey, everybody's favorite. Strengths. Everybody, this is what everybody talk about when they meet someone or when they talk to people, because strengths make us feel good. We all want to feel good.
Yeah.
So most people talk and promote their strengths. Now, these are the things that we just do well. We were born with it, we're gifted with it, we do them well regardless, we can rehearse it in our sleep, we don't have to practice, they just come to us naturally. That's strengths. See, the problem with strengths, and I love strengths too, I'm human, I love to be reinforced positively and things, but the problem with strengths is they can be deceptive.
Yes.
See, they can be very deceptive. See, we're only as strong as our weakest link. So if you're only focusing on your strengths, how strong are you? See, if it's your strength, then that means you're proficient at it. So let's say you're 80, 85% proficient at it because it's your strength. So you can't be 100 because remember, we're still human. So let's say you're 80 to 85% proficient. There's a small window for growth, very small. But however, let's talk about weaknesses. Those are the opposite of strengths. Weaknesses are the things that we just don't do well, regardless of how much we try. We can improve on them, don't get me wrong, but we just don't do them well. So we just weren't gifted in that area as much to be successful in it. But it's okay, because all humans have it. The thing you got to be careful about weaknesses is this. They never travel alone. They never travel alone. They always bring their buddies. I mean, you've seen their buddies before. You've experienced their buddies, right? Insecurities. You know, they roll with insecurities. See, weaknesses think they so bad, right? That they roll with their buddies called insecurities, right? And the weaknesses, they'll roll out and leave their buddies with you. Like, once you get past them, then you deal with me. That's how bad weaknesses are. They want to control you so much that they don't even have to be present. They just leave a thought of what could happen in the form of insecurities and to control you that way. See, so this is why we have to be real about our weaknesses. Not rehearse, not torment your mind, not go, no. But you have to be real about your weaknesses because again, you're only as strong as your weakest link. So you got to be real about your weaknesses and you know that they travel with insecurity. So I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to tell you how to do it. You're going to leave this room and you're going to feel amazing. You're going to leave this room and you're going to have answers that you never even came for. So that's what we're going to do, problems, strengths, and weaknesses. And for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to give you a paper and I want you to write down your problems, strengths, and weaknesses. But this is the thing, this is the beauty about it. I don't never have to see it. It's for you. It's for you. So for the next 5 minutes, I want you to take your time and write down your problems, strengths, and weaknesses. And I'm going to hand out the paper to you right now. And you don't really have to answer it, but how did you feel writing your strengths, problems, and weaknesses? Did you feel different? Was it challenging? Was it different for you? Anybody can say anything?
I think just putting it down was uniquely different for me because I don't always want to deal with it.
Absolutely.
It's there all the time, but I don't always want to face it.
Join the rest of the population in all the world. That just means you're human.
Right.
Anyone else? Yes.
Yeah, I agree with her. It's like naming it makes it real.
Makes it real. That's excellent. It's excellent. Anyone else?
Makes you uncomfortable.
Makes you uncomfortable. Yes.
I think just being honest, let alone being honest within yourself.
There it is.
But, knowing every day you face people, family, friends, foes, whatever. But I think it's just taking that notion and just being honest within yourself. Just bringing who you are, who your characteristics are.
Right. And that's what this is all about. Thank you for the responses. That's what I wanted. That's what this is all about. This is about being who you are. You remember I told you, I'm going to show you how to be great, but I'm going to show you how to be great for you. Not how to be great for me, not how to be great for you, not how to be great for you, how to be great for you. And it starts with realizing who you are, looking at myself through my own eyes. So here we go. One thing I said I was going to do, I said I was going to show you how to turn your weaknesses, tell you rather, how to turn your weaknesses into strengths. And this is how you do it. Let's say I was in a classroom of my peers, say grade school. And let's say I couldn't read that well, okay? So I could sit in class and the teacher liked people to read out loud. So she'll go around and call people to read out loud. So I could sit in class in front and wait and get embarrassed, or try to act out so I can get out of the room because I don't know how to read well. Or I can say, excuse me. I mean, it's hard for me to admit this, but I struggle with reading, especially aloud. I'll make it up. Is there any other way I can satisfy this and this and that? And guess what you'll notice? You'll see some other hands go up. Oh, excuse me too. I struggle with this thing. See, so now your fear of being rejected has made you a leader. Has made you a trendsetter, all because of courage. All because of transparency. That's what will happen. And see now, what's going to happen when somebody try to teach you, like, oh, Mark can't read. Oh, I stood up in a minute, Dad. You can't hurt me with that. See, so you see how now it's a strength, because now you can position yourself accordingly and it doesn't negatively impact your life. This is why we must address our weaknesses, not so that we can torment our minds, not so we can remind ourselves of things we're not proud of. No, no, no. But because we're only as strong as our weakest link, it's so that we can embrace that, so we don't give the power externally to anyone else to tear us down with it.
Excellent.
This is what you do with your weaknesses. Now here we go. I don't even want to see what you wrote down, but this is what I know about each and every one of you. Whatever you wrote down is a reflection of how you see yourself. Whatever you wrote down is a reflection of what you believe. There's that word, believe.
Yes.
That's the secret sauce. In all the meals to make them taste right, believe. So what we're going to talk about is, what do you believe? What do you believe about you? Is it what you see with your eyes? Is it what your vision tell you? Or is it what your parents told you? Is it when the teacher told you you weren't smart enough? Is it when the guy told you you didn't look good enough? Is it when the professor told you you're not smart enough, you don't have the ability to do it? Who is looking through the scope? If I put a bucket of water right here, said, put your hand in it. She said, oh, that's hot. And if I told you, put your hand in it, you say, oh, that's cold. Who's right? Should she try to then change her mind and say, no, I think it was a little cold? Should she try to change her mind and then say, I think it was hot? Who's right? They're both right. Because it all depends on how you see it. What do you believe about you? Whose story are you telling? Is it your story, or is it what your parents kept embedded in your mind over and over and over again? Is it your story? Or is it what your boss kept telling you because he ill-trained you? He didn't have the proper preparation, so he put you in a position to fail, and yet he's criticizing you, and you're looking at yourself as if it's your fault. See, so now when you look at your problems, strengths, and weaknesses, you're going to look at them even different than when I just asked you 5 minutes ago. So now, since we're talking about belief, let's go deeper into it, because remember, we got to win the game within the game. There's always a game within the game. That's what we got to win. That's what we got to focus on. That's what we got to always prepare for, the game within the game. So how do I win the game within the game and get my belief system straight? Well, thank you for asking. Great questions today. Thank you for asking. Well, this is how you do it. Case in point, hypothetically speaking, let's say I grew up in a household and my mother had a bad experience riding a roller coaster, right? She said, don't y'all ever ride roller coasters because they're scary, they're dangerous, and they're not secure. And I felt terrible riding that roller coaster. So don't you think about going to an amusement park and ride roller coasters. And all through my household, every time someone talk about an amusement park, they don't even mention roller coasters. Here comes that voice. Don't you dare get on no roller coaster because they're dangerous. Quite naturally, when I grow up and get older and I go to amusement park with my friends or my girl or so forth, what am I going to think? When they ask me, Mark, are you going to get on a roller coaster? What am I going to say? Oh, absolutely not. They're dangerous. They're not secure. And they're scary, so don't get on them. But is that my truth? That's called suggestive reasoning. That's not my truth. Listen, we see it all the time in society, right? Once you turn on the TV, how are they portraying people that look like me? Always negative, always doing crime, always doing... So when someone that doesn't interact with someone that look like me much, if they look at TV often, are they wrong for thinking negative about people that look like me? No, because that's what the TV is projecting. But it's not the truth. It's not their truth. It's suggestive reasoning. It's all around us. So my question to you is this. Those problems, strengths, and weaknesses that you wrote down. When somebody say, what's your story? What you tell them? Is that your vision? Is that your scope? Or is it suggestive reasoning? Is that what they told you you were? Is that the limitations that they told you you had? That's your story. This is the game within the game. See, they never going to tell you the game within the game because you got to figure it out yourself. That's the game within the game. So here we go. So we're talking about what do you believe about you? I mentioned my love for football. I mentioned it. Football was a safe haven for me. Football taught me family. Football taught me not only how to accomplish, but how to accomplish for other people. It taught me how to be a part of. It taught me a whole lot, and I'm thankful to the game. But it also was confusing a bit, and this is how. When I first started playing football as a youngster in Little League, I was 9 years old, and it was people there 12 years old because there wasn't as many groups as it is now. It was only like 3, whereas now they got every pound and this and that. Then, so I had to learn the hard way with people that were older, stronger and things, but I was game because I loved it. And I always said I was a quarterback. I'm one of the best quarterbacks to ever play in Philadelphia, ever in the history. You know, so I wasn't allowed to play quarterback. I had to earn my keep. I was a young guy. You know, and it was quarterbacks there, don't get me wrong, they were a little better. They were older, they were better. At that time, I knew I could be better than them. But, so I had to wait my turn. I played other positions. My last year playing Little League, and coincidentally, that's the same year that I transferred to high school. In 9th grade, went to Bodine High School. That was my last year playing Little League. It was 150 pounds. I finally got the nod to play quarterback. We went undefeated. We happy because the championship, we played against a team that we already won, we already beat during the season. Snowed heavy and it was the coldest day of the year. And I must admit, I wasn't the bravest. There's some other words I could have chosen, but let's just leave it there. I wasn't the bravest. You know, I was kind of falling victim to the inclement weather. I didn't play my best. Toward the end of the game, our running back ran a long touchdown, scored, and we still were down. It was like 30 seconds left in the game. And my vision, I started to see the end of the game. And I knew that I had to do something. I had to do more. I was the captain, I was the quarterback, I was the leader, and I didn't do enough in that game. And I asked for an opportunity to redeem myself. So sure enough, 5 seconds left in the game. We're on the 5-yard line, and we have to score to win the game. It's the last play. And I knew this was my moment. How many of you have ever been in situations where you say, wow, this is my moment. The very thing that I've been asking for, the very thing that I've been praying for is happening right before my eyes. See, that could be a scary moment as well if you're not prepared. So the bottom line is, are you going to barbecue or are you going to mildew? Are you going to box or are you going to kick rocks? What is it going to be? Because you got a decision to make. It's one of those problems. You remember those things that happen abruptly? It's one of those problems. So I made my mind up. So when we hiked the ball, I said, there's no way I'm not going to score this touchdown. And guess what happened? I scored the touchdown and we won the game and I was heroic. So the bottom line is this. Whatever you believe, you're right. If you believe you're the greatest or the least of the bunch, you are right. Whatever you believe is your truth. So those problems, strengths, and weaknesses you wrote down is your truth, but is it really your truth? Whose scope are you looking through? See, the truth is, if you've been violated in your life, that's not your truth. That's only your truth that you accepted. That's the truth of whoever violated you for their inadequacies.
Yes.
See, the only way you can make that your truth is if you know the reason they violated you. As far as you know, they violated you because they were violated. So in essence, they don't even know they're doing harm to you. It's just learned behavior that they're demonstrating. Your truth is your truth. Your truth is that you are amazing.
Yes.
You are beautifully made. You are God's perfect creation. You are created to be great. If you don't believe me, check for somebody with a similar DNA as you. If you don't believe me, you go out and find someone with a matching fingerprint as you. You are great. You just got to believe it. So here I am. I walked off as a hero in Little League. So then I come to high school. So what's my vision going to high school? King Kong ain't got nothing on me. I'm a winner. I ran in a winning touchdown to win the championship, and I was the MVP. I'm going to this high school thinking I'm going to do the same thing. Came into high school. Remember I told you on Little League coach transferred me. I'm in the 10th grade. 2 senior quarterbacks. I knew I was better than them, but I had to wait my time. I played, did well. My senior year, my junior year, I got the ring at quarterback. We went to the playoffs, went 8-2, we lost in the semifinals. My senior year, we were undefeated in the championship, and here we are. We up 20-0. Third quarter. The team rallied. The end of the game, we're down 26-20. 2 minutes left in the game. We run a trick play, the running back pass, he throw the ball, touchdowns, tie 26-26. The last play of the game, look what happens. There's no way I'm pitching this ball, just like I did in Little League, kept the ball, walked off the field heroic, championship winner. My goodness, I'm really a winner. Oh man, listen, my vision of myself is amazing because I win. That's what I do. So quite naturally, going into college, I knew what was about to happen. I was going to go and light on fire. Again, I told you I went to Temple. Lost almost every game. Literally lost almost every game. In fact, I think we're the worst class in Temple's history. I'm glad I can laugh about that now because at one point I couldn't. See, so what happened is this. So, what is my truth? Am I the winner like I was in Little League and in high school? Or am I a loser like I was in college? What's my truth? What's my truth? Who am I? Who are you? Who are you? Are you the person that you wrote down your problems, strengths, and weaknesses on the sheet? Is that who you are? Are you the person that you suggested reasoning and you're taking other people's opinion of you and adopting it as your own? Is that who you are? Is that why you were created? No. Your truth is what you believe. So here I am. And I have a decision to make. What do I believe about me? I got examples of greatness. I got examples of not great. Losing. What do I believe about me is the question. This is about purpose. This is a new organization. So what do you see in yourself? What do you see in yourself? But more importantly, what do you want to see? See, we have to be who we want to become. Fake it till you make it. Just acknowledge that you're really faking it.
That's right, don't fool yourself.
Yeah. You have to be who you want to become. What do you believe about you? What do you believe about you? You got a choice to make in this life. You got a choice to make. When y'all came here to hear me speak, y'all made a choice.
Yes.
When you decided to join this great organization, you made a choice. But during that choice, you had foresight. You had expectations. You had expectations. Never give up your expectations. Once you give up your expectations, other people put theirs on you. So here we are. What do you believe about you? Do you want to be great? See, whatever you want to be is what you'll become. Do you want to come into this group and excel? Whatever you want is what you are. What you're going to become, that's what you're going to get.
That's right.
See, me, I'm great. Because when I was 4, my mom said that God created all men equal. And all I got to do is see one person in the world that's great. And you can co-sign me, put my name on the line because I'm coming. Because we're all equal. That's my belief system. So again, am I a loser or am I a winner? I chose the winner. Do you know how I chose the winner? Because winning is not the only thing, it's everything. to me. Because that's what I've created my life on, winning. See, when Lisa asked me to come and speak to the group, I had already won. Because I knew that I had to come to this group and I knew I had something to give that could benefit the people. What do you believe about you? We talked about vision. I told you vision is foresight. Vision is having the ability to see. Vision is also having the ability to imagine and draw a picture in your mind. We discussed problems, strengths, and weaknesses because every human being has them, including Oprah Winfrey, including President Obama, including Bill Gates, everybody. Everyone has problems, strengths, and weaknesses. So I should hope that you're looking at your problems, strengths, and weaknesses a little different than you were when you first wrote them down. I told you how to change your weaknesses into strengths. Embracing them head on. You're only as strong as your weakest link. So when you embrace it, not to torment your mind, not to remind yourself of who you are, but so you can get power, so that you can overcome those weaknesses, so that you're not threatened by the insecurity that's lying dormant and you're scared to even go that direction because you're scared of the weakness. It's nothing. What do you believe about you? We talked about the comparison with the bucket. We talked about suggestive reasoning. Is your story your story? Or is it your mom's story? Is it your neighbor's story? Is it your teacher's story? Is it your boss's story? What is your story about you? Who are you? What are you here to do? You can be, do, or have anything you want in this world. Anything. You just got to be willing to do the work for it. You got to be willing to get up, look at your vision board, read it, visualize it, imagine it, study it, read your other material, become one with it. Listen, the secret sauce is belief, but let me tell you what else you need in an ingredient before you put the secret sauce in. You need alignment. You need balance, alignment. And what that is to have your thoughts, your words, and your actions to be one. You need your thoughts, your words, and your actions to be one. That is alignment. See, if that's not aligned, then you're double-minded. Whatever your alignment is, that's what it is. If you're on level 40, make sure you're aligned on level 40. If you're on level 60, make sure you're aligned on level 60. If you're on 80, 100, make sure it's aligned, because that's when you're one. That's when you can say something and really mean it. I was talking earlier, I said, listen, I stopped making promises years ago, and this is why. Because in my view, promises are for people whose words are not credible. But see, when you're one with your word, when your words and your thoughts and your actions line up, I don't have to say I promise. All I got to do is say it. Because everything I say is like a promise, because I'm one with my word. This is what you got to become. Otherwise, your vision will not be clear. See, they always say discipline is needed. You got to be disciplined. To do anything, just to sit here for this amount of time requires discipline. Just for you to get up every day and go to work, and you know that when you get paid this week, it's already taken up in bills, that requires discipline and a commitment and dedication. So who are you to turn that off? Why can't you leave the faucet running? We have to be disciplined enough to consistently do what we need to do all the time. Because if you don't, your competitor is.
That's right.
We got to be willing to do what the other people aren't willing to do. But how can you do it if you're not prepared? How can you do it if you're not one with your word and in your actions? How can you do it if you're still running from your weaknesses and your insecurities? How can you do it if you're hiding behind your strengths? And now they're so distorted that now you're telling somebody else's strength. So now it's not what you want. So what's the solution? What's the solution? Well, I can tell you this, statistically, individually, we're all about 15% likely to reach our goals individually. However, with the cultural mentor, that increases to 88%. From the gate. So quite naturally, what that tells me is that I need to get around some people that are where I want to be. In fact, I'm not going to listen to nobody that aren't where I want to be or have been where I am. That's the qualification. The only people you listen to is somebody that is where you want to be or someone that's been where you are. That's it. Just because somebody's your family don't qualify them to be your advisor. It just qualifies them to be your blood relative. It doesn't mean that they're great advisors because they're your sister or your mother or your father. No, it just means that they're your sister or your mother or your father. We got to get on it. We got to get sharper. We got to get on it. Invest in a coach or a mentor. It's the best investment you'll make. You ever hear the phrase, the cream rise to the top? This is what happens with people in society. Too many people trying to struggle and fight to get to the top. But I'm here to tell you, you just need to relax and focus on being a cream. You skip a level. See, if the cream rises to the top, why are you trying to get to the top? Just be the cream. The cream automatically go, the elevator goes right to the top. See, but that don't come if you don't believe, if you don't have vision, if you don't have foresight, if you don't know where you come from, where you are, and where you're going, you're lost. You're lost. And then a lot of us are parents, so let me give you some hard truth. The hard truth is this. If we're broken, if we don't love ourselves, if we're broken, the only place you can take someone else to is a place of brokenness. Regardless of how good your intentions are, regardless of how motivated you are, if you're broken, the only place you can lead someone else is to a place of brokenness.
That's so true.
So how do I get whole, win the game within the game, remain whole, remove the layers so I can be one with who I am, with my thoughts, my words, and my actions? Another great question. I'm so glad you asked. In fact, I wrote a book on it.
Yeah.
It's called How to Be One with Greatness. Now this is what we got to do in order to be one with greatness so that we can have great vision. We first got to get to know ourselves. I'm not talking about the self that's sitting here in the seat now, the constructed manufactured self that put on layers and took off layers to fit into this organization or to look this part to get this job or to fit into the family to look this way. No, I'm not talking about that self. I'm talking about the pure, innocent you at 6 years old when you were wide-eyed and bushy-tailed and the world was just amazing, safe haven to you. You knew no hate. You knew no disrespect. You knew none of that. All you knew is that I'm enjoying life and I'm getting taken care of. That's the pure soul that I'm talking about. That's who you got to get to know. Not the corrupted you that had to adjust because they told you wasn't good enough and he told you didn't look good enough and she told you couldn't do it. They not that person. The real you. You got to get to know that person. Like intimately. Let me help you out some more. You know when people build a home, especially now they drop those module homes down where they come and just drop the building down, restaurants and this and that. Well, it looked like that's just what they're doing. It looked like they're coming on a helicopter and just dropping the big building down. But it's really not. Let me tell you what first must be done before they erect a new building. You gotta dig deep. You gotta dig under the core. That's called the foundation. So you got to dig under the core, you got to dig under the ground. That's the foundation. So when I say you got to get to know yourself, you got to dig deep. You got to get down to the core, you got to go to the foundation. See, it's hard going down there. It's dark down there. It's things down there that I forgot was down there. It's things down there that I wasn't ready to face. It's things down there that other people do down there. Oh my goodness. But that's, you got to get to know that person. Listen, I'm not saying you got to go and be jolly. Hey, you my but no. It may take some days, it may take some weeks, it may take some months, it may take some years, but you got to get to know that person because that person is you. That person is you. So that's the first step. You got to get to know yourself. The next step, you got to accept yourself. Ooh! You got to accept yourself. Remember I told you about vision? What's the use of having good sight? What's the use of seeing it if you're looking at the wrong thing? And ultimately, what's the use of looking at it if you can't accept what you see? You can't accept what you see. See, if you can't accept you, what makes you think somebody else can? Now you wonder why, man, I haven't had a good relationship in so long. Because how can they accept you when you can't even accept yourself? When they say, baby, tell me what to accept, you say, oh. Because Because you don't know yourself. You've been built up off of other people's thoughts of you and other people's opinions of you. And what was left over, that's not who you are. It's not who you are. You are amazing. You are amazing. It's nobody like you in all the world. And I mean that. It's nobody that thinks like you. Even the people that sound like you or resemble you, it's just not the same. You got to get to know yourself. You got to accept yourself. Oh, it's about to get real in here. You got to love yourself.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
So first you got to dig deep under the core. You got to go down where you ain't been in years. Stuff that you buried. Stuff that's been gone that you thought I'd never have to face that again. Oh, you got to knock on that door again. You got to get to know that. Then you got to accept that. Then you got to love that. But let me tell you something, right? Remember I told you it doesn't matter your intentions. It don't matter how much you love your girls or love your spouse or love your friends. If you're broken, the only place you could take someone is to a place of brokenness. So you got to get to know yourself. You got to accept yourself. You got to love yourself. And then and only then are you truly prepared to give yourself. See, the truth is that righteousness must first be lived, seen, and then proclaimed. Too many people try to proclaim it without being an example of it and without having it seen. That's why people not getting received, because they're not an example of what they're saying. I'm here to tell you I'm the real deal. I am who I tell you I am. What I'm saying to you, I practice every little bit of it. And when I tell you it's real. Because see, results don't lie. Success leaves clues. Always. Success always leaves clues. So now you know what it takes to win the game within the game. Because you can have great vision. I mean, you can have 20/20. You can have the greatest glass in the world. You can know the environment like crazy. But if you're not whole internally, if your thoughts, your words, and your actions are on the line, you're wasting your time. You're hustling backwards. So you got to get to know yourself. You got to accept yourself. You got to love yourself. Then you give yourself. In closing, I'm here to tell you, you are important, you are necessary, and you are sufficient. So don't you ever let anybody tell you otherwise. You were created for a purpose. When you were created, it was a job right by your name and nobody else could do it but you. But you got to accept it. And you got to believe that you were created to do it. It's called purpose. See, the thing about life is this. So many people chasing after the appetizers. And don't get me wrong. You can fill up all appetizers. However, if you get your main course, which is purpose, God will give you more appetizers than you can even eat. Take care of the main course. Align your thoughts, your words, and your actions up. Win the game within the game. Be right. Don't be around here lying and present yourself as something that you're not, because eventually you're going to have to face the piper. You're going to have to be who you really are. It doesn't matter. So just be that person to start out with. That way, you don't got nothing up your sleeve. You're free. You're free. This thing is all about freedom. How good does it feel to be free? How good does it feel to do all your chores, get paid, have your kids all straight, your spouse straight? How good does that feel?
Feels real good.
Feels good. But that's how every day should be. Every minute of the day should be that way. This is what you should walk around feeling. The joy of life. Because there's nothing blocking it. You know what disease is? Disease is just that, a dis-ease. It means that it's a blockage. It's not easily flowing. There's a blockage somewhere. 95% of diseases are created from thoughts. It's real life, people. And I'm glad she asked me to speak, because I'm like, listen, this is not just a speech. See, I'm not giving you words. I'm not just talking to your subconscious. I'm giving you me. I'm giving you me. That's more than a speech. That's more. You can't buy that nowhere. You can't buy it nowhere. What you feel coming from me is real. That's why I'm here. And you know what? That's why you're here. Because everything happens the way it's supposed to. Every single thing in your life was perfect. Even the hurt, the pain, the struggle, it was all perfect. We just got to accept it as such. We got to accept it as such. That's it. That is it. Let me tell you something, right? Not only are you amazing, not only can I feel the greatness in you right here, right now, but you were great. You have to be great because other people are dependent on your greatness for their lives. So this includes us, but it's not about us at all. It's not about us. It's about accepting your plot in life and doing it and committing to it, aligning your words, your thoughts, and your actions up, and winning the game within the game. But let me tell you something. Before we go, let me tell you something, right? If you master yourself, life has no choice but to bow down to you. That's the real game within the game. That's the ultimate game within the game. Once you master yourself, life has no choice but to bow down to you, because life is all a fraud. Life is all made up of people's opinions and thoughts that aren't real, that want to deceive you from being real. Once you embrace who you are, once you know your purpose, that main course, you get more appetites, more cars, more houses, more than you can ever imagine. Once you embrace your purpose, it's on and popping. I once was lost, but now I'm found. I was blind, but now I see. I once was lost, come on, but now I'm found. Blind, but now I see. Now that's vision. Thank you so much.
Beautiful. So empowered. Well, the first thing I want to say is that I believe Marc Baxter sharing and being our guest speaker today allowed me to, one, really look deeper into myself and face me. I'm not good at that. I run from me. I've been running from myself a long time. I'm good at fronting. I've been fronting a long time. I'm good at putting on that face. I'm good at, all that. But I wanted to get to the place where I can deal with me and get into that place and that digging deep and finding those places that you don't necessarily want to deal with. But the one thing that illuminated the most is dealing with procrastination, putting things off. And I was good at hiding those procrastinating areas, but I want to deal with them. I want to get past it, and I feel just listening in the day that I know I want to go home and just really, really get it, because I want to be what I'm saying I am. If I say I'm amazing, if I say I'm great, if I say that I am a role model for women and girls, I want to be that wholeheartedly from the inside out. And so it's those dark areas that I want to face. And again, I have looked through the eyes of others because I've had very negative things said to me all throughout my childhood. But I'm going to know now that those are the lens and those are the eyes of someone else. It's not me. It's what has been said to me. So I can now erase that, and that's what I got out of it today. So anyway.
Hello, everyone. Wow, powerful, the words I can find. The presentation that just took place now with Marc Baxter has been uplifting to my spirit, to my inner being, knowing that I am great. I can be great. I am a woman of valor. I can be whoever I choose to be. I can be great in my own skin. I can be who I want, that God created me to be. I am so grateful today being a part of this event and just hearing the words from this man who just really encouraged my heart and my spirit and my mind. Thinking about my thoughts and the words and my actions really have empowered me as an individual to know that hiding behind words that people think of me, what they say about me, how they feel about me, has impacted my life today, where now I can come out that shell and be able to express myself and be able to let people know that I am great, I am beautiful, I am what God created me to be. And I'm just a living testimony to believe that whatever you want to be, you just believe in your heart that you can be it. And just don't worry about what anybody think or how they feel about you, because that's been my error. But I can tell you today, I thank God for, just coming out of my shell and just being Gloria.
Yeah.
It is. Can you see? Can you see? Yeah, I can see. I can't see. But as you see, the definition gave the ability to use your imagination and also the ability to see pictures in your mind. So that shows you that it's a lot more internal. The truth of the matter is this: whatever we see external is a manifestation of what's going on in the inside. Whatever, when you look around life, the people you see and the things you see, what you see outside is only a manifestation of what's going on inside. So that's what you have to, in order to see straight externally, you have to make room for it. You got to clear it out. You got to be one. You got to be aligned. Or else you're going to think that's a banana of opportunity and it's really an apple of deceit. Because your vision blurred. Vision is an internal job. Everything is an internal job. That's the game within the game. That's what your focus should be. That's really a good thing. See, success and greatness is birthed out of struggling and suffering. You see, so we first got to get uncomfortable in order to get comfortable. So that part I wouldn't worry about. The part I will focus more so on is following my heart. Following my purpose, because see, our gift will always make room for us. See, so what seems like it's in disarray, see, remember I told you the secret sauce is belief. See, once you mix that belief in there, it has to work at your favor. It has to, because now you're vibrating that belief energy, and belief helps the blessings to come in. However, fear blocks them. So I would say move out in faith and follow your passion, and you watch how everything fall into place. Never lose the secret sauce, because fear cancels it. No, I want to commend you, and let's give her a hand. That's tremendous. That's tremendous. Good for you. Listen, you're at a place that most people go to their grave without getting to.
That's right.
Okay. So you deserve everything that's coming to you. I'm glad that I was able to add to that or confirm some of that. But you're at a great place, and I'm sure you guys, if you're on social media, I'm sure you've seen this quote. Once you learn your worth, you'll stop giving people discounts.
Yeah.
Similar to what you were saying. You know, so you can tell they don't love themselves by what they accept or what they allow. So listen, that's tremendous. Any more questions about anything in life? Anything?
You know, maybe it's
Yes.
not a question, but you know, I find that a lot of times that when you share an event or a happiness or something that's taking place in your life, like I'm about to graduate the 19th of this month.
Congratulations!
And I'm excited. You had said, I know there's something that happened in your life, and you know, it's like a wow factor for me. It's a wow moment for me for all the years, you know, sacrificing for my children, and then I made that attempt to, you know, through the help of God, to, you know, to endure what I'm about to endure. I just wanted to say that when you talked about the fears, purpose, game within the game, I look at, you explain about the game, being in the game, and how to prevent yourself, you know, to establish yourself to rise above the game, and what's the solution in being a part of the game.
Okay.
So here I am. I feel that, I believe that when you made the statement about loving yourself and having a purpose for yourself and believing in you, because you can have family, and family can say this, that, and whatever, but when it, you know, when it all boils down to it, you're still out there by yourself, because a lot of time family may be envious or jealous of where you are and where you're about to go. And I always say, to me, I tell my kids, well, you know, there's people that perpetrate things, you know. They say it, but you know in their heart, it's totally something different.
Right.
But I'm glad that I'm here today to hear this because it motivates me.
Great.
And I just can't even find the words to really say what I'm really feeling inside because I'm bubbling. And we all need to hear this.
Right.
We all need to be motivated enough because it's hidden talents and hidden jewels in all of us. It just have to come out of us.
That's it.
So I thank God for you and thank God for my sisters inviting me out here.
Well, listen, first of all, congratulations on the 19th. That's good stuff. Listen, and second, you said a few things that resonated with me. The first thing was you said you had to endure by taking care of people, and now it's almost like you get a chance to do your thing. And I'm going to throw a scripture at you: the race not given to the swift or to the strong, but to he that endureth to the end. See, so another thing, what happens is that if you're ever feeling depressed, a remedy to fix that is to pray or help someone else. You're immediately not depressed no more. See, so what you were actually doing in essence, you were, they say if you want to be successful, help someone else be successful. You were depositing into other people's lives and putting yours on hold, and now you're going to get double the blessing because you were helping someone else do what you eventually wanted to do. So you were being a blessing, and now you're about to be blessed. So congratulations. Yes. Got you. Well, you basically said half of it. Now, the good thing that you said was that, you know, you faced it. Let me tell you what happens when you internalize a fear, a weakness, or insecurity. This is what happens. I'm going to paint a picture for you. When you internalize a weakness, trauma, or any of that, it's like taking a canned soda, right, and cracking it just a little bit, shaking it up first, then cracking it a little bit, and putting it inside your body. So it can't wait to explode, so it's fizzing out like... So anytime you experience something remotely close, it could be a 5% version of what you're dealing with internally, but that's all it takes. Once it takes on the same face that you're hiding, it takes on the whole power of the soda. So if you're internalizing fear of a bus, let's say hypothetically speaking, the fear of riding a bus, all you got to do is hear somebody say bus. And it'll tap onto that soda, and that same fear as if you're on a bus will come about. So this is the reason why you got to deal with those weaknesses or those insecurities. Now, however, how to transition them into strength is just that. Once you can embrace them, you get to know them. You peel in the layers, you get to know it. You accept it. You love it. Once love is involved, it can't be negative. You get to love it, then you can give it. And that's the example I give. You know, righteousness got to first be lived, seen, and then proclaimed. See, so once you can get to that place of loving and then giving yourself, it becomes your strength. Because let me tell you, look at what you just did and don't even realize it. Because you had the ability to share it with us shows that it's a strength. If it wasn't a strength, you wouldn't even be able to talk about it. In fact, you won't even want nobody to know. So you're already on the brinks of shifting it into a strength. Just keep practicing it. Start laughing at it. Start sharing it with more people. Because that empowers you, that puts you on top of it. Eventually you'll realize, like, I was scared of this. Are you serious? You mean to tell me I was losing sleep, I was losing money, I was losing friends over this? Something that's not even real? Most people perceive vision as something external. Because really,